For more than a decade, they built a life rooted in faith and family.
She was a smart woman. She loved her kids. She was family-oriented.
He was so charismatic.
He also was a man of faith.
But God said we got to clean your filthy.
But in a split second, their future was torn away in an act of violence.
Kendra!
I need somebody here, please. I need somebody here. Oh, Jesus.
It was unbelievable what happened.
It seemed not even like a nightmare. It wasn't real.
Imagine having two fully involved relationships for 10 years.
Double life. That's a double life.
Did betrayal lead to a desperate plot?
She wanted him all to herself.
Or was there a hidden serpent lurking in the garden?
The story starts to unravel.
When everything is said and done, people always know the truth.
Everything was a lie from the very beginning.
Just to see that many people being manipulated at one time, it's just evil.
June 2015. It's a balmy summer in Macon, a mid-sized city located 85 miles south of Atlanta and known as the heart of Georgia.
It's very affordable, a great place to raise a family.
It's not too country, it's not too city. I think it's the perfect blend.
But just after midnight on June 12th, the quiet city is jolted by an urgent call to the Bibb County Sheriff's Office from local pastor William Pounds.
We'll see the emergency.
Ma'am, my girlfriend, she shot herself in the head. I need an ambulance, please. I need somebody here.
Yes, sir. I can get them en route for you, okay? But I need you to try to calm down for me.
Oh, Jesus.
On the 911 call, William is panicking and Kendra is in dire need of medical attention.
She's not breathing.
Okay. She's
not breathing. I'm gonna try to do CPR on her.
Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4,
2,
4,
3,
1,
4,
2,
5,
3,
6,
4,
7,
1,
8,
2,
9,
3.
As William fights to keep Kendra alive, first responders race to the scene. Every second is critical.
As the minutes tick by, Kendra's chances of survival grow dimmer.
For as long as anyone could remember, 46-year-old Kendra Jackson had been a beacon of light in her community.
Kendra was a sweetheart. When she showed up, she brought the sun with her.
People loved her. They say that she was a good mix of sassy and classy.
When you say classy, you say Kendra. You just knew she was gonna look her best, speak her best, present her best at all times.
The daughter of a reverend, Kendra was raised in a devoutly religious household alongside her 3 siblings.
Growing up in a Christian home, especially when your parents are involved in preaching, it can have a big influence on you, and there's a lot of pressure to always do your best.
That kind of defined her trajectory in life.
And nothing in Kendra's life was more important to her than motherhood.
Kendra got married at a young age. Her and her husband had 3 kids.
But the relationship between Ms. Jackson and her husband was not as strong as they had hoped, and they ended up growing apart and divorced.
In the years following the divorce, Kendra worked hard to give her children a good upbringing.
Okay, great. She was very loving towards her kids. Her kids were the priority.
I'll take care of that for you.
She was able to eventually find a good job as a personal banker. She had a part-time job working in a jewelry store.
I'm like, girl, why are you working 2 jobs? Because she was trying to take care of people.
Got a little busy real quick.
If anyone could handle the stress of motherhood and work, it was Kendra.
Taken care of.
We call her Michelle Obama. Like if she was having a bad day, she would have the classiest bad day ever. She was always in mama mode and let me make it better for you mode.
Kendra was the total package. So it seemed only a matter of time before a new suitor came knocking.
She's maintained her faith that God will provide her a good man.
Can I help you?
Yes, I have some questions about my bank account there.
Okay, let me take a look.
William Pounds was a prominent preacher, and he was also a senior master sergeant in the Air Force.
If he was to walk in, he would immediately grab your attention. He's a good-looking man. He was always well-dressed, well-mannered.
The two of them quickly hit it off.
I hate to be forward, but you mind joining me for dinner on Friday?
I like that.
He had, a great resume. He also was a man of faith, which immediately resonated with Kendra.
Within a short period of time, Kendra was smitten, and then when she saw him preach, her love grew even bigger.
But God said we got to clean your filth. You still got some dirt on your nails. But even though you have dirt on your nails, he died. Yeah, before you got your engine running like new, he died.
He was so charismatic.
His congregation loved and adored him.
He was able to breathe his own passion into the Word of God, and Kendra found that absolutely inspiring.
To Kendra, it felt like William could be the one, but she had no intention of racing to the altar.
Kendra's first marriage failed, and she was cautious about running into this one, so her and William took it slow.
This is a new person that you're introducing into your world, your children's world.
They dated more than 12 years.
I think game night went well with the kid.
It did. We should do it again sometime.
He was safe for her, and he was her nice guy. And he created that story for her.
In 2012, William finally popped the question.
Well, I was thinking about doing this somewhere a bit more romantic, but Kendra Jackson, will you marry me?
Yes.
In that moment, she was like, okay, this is the one. This is the man that God sent to me.
See?
Kendra thought all of her dreams were coming true.
But now, a few short years later, the couple's future has been hurled into doubt.
Instead of walking down the aisle, Kendra is barely clinging to life.
William was on the phone with 911 and told investigators that she shot herself in the head.
Damn it, Kendra, why you want to do this to me?
When first responders arrive on the scene, William leads them to the bedroom.
She's over here.
They find her collapsed on the floor in a pool of her own blood.
The first responders immediately jump into action.
The paramedics tried to apply first aid.
Every attempt was made to resuscitate her, but eventually it was clear that it was too late.
Kendra was dead.
For more than a decade, Macon pastor William Pounds had been Kendra Jackson's rock.
William was her handsome knight in shining armor. He was charismatic. He said all the right things.
She was planning a wedding to, a man that she loved.
Until a bullet to the head severed their bond forever.
The paramedics tried to apply first aid, but it became too late.
Kendra was dead.
When investigators from the Bibb County Sheriff's Office arrive on the scene, they step aside with Kendra's grieving fiancé.
Sir, I'm sorry for your loss. Do you think you're up to walking us through what happened?
Yeah, I can do that.
Mr. Pound said it started off as a normal day. Him and Kendra and the kids had spent quality time together.
They all had dinner together, and then Kendra drove the kids over to their father's house.
Hurry back.
Kendra returned to the home around 10 p.m.
She came back. Him and her got into bed.
They are watching a basketball game and starting to discuss some of the details of their relationship.
Kendra started pressing him on a date for the marriage.
You know, we've been engaged for a while now. I think it's time that we should start planning the wedding.
She wants her wedding because the whole world around her and William's relationship expects this to happen. Because that is the Christian thing to do.
He told her that he wasn't ready to get married, and she didn't respond well to that.
What do you mean you're not ready? We've been together for like 15 years.
He really loved Kendra, but after so many years, he had felt the relationship had run its course.
William tells investigators that when he broached the subject of ending their relationship, Kendra started to spiral.
All the years that she has invested in their relationship, she feels like she had wasted her time.
Kendra, calm down. We can talk.
Don't tell me to calm down!
He says that she flew into a rage.
Kendra grabbed the handgun off the dresser drawer.
And he thought that she would shoot him.
But instead, Kendra turned the gun on herself.
William told investigators that she shot herself in the left side of the head.
Oh my God!
He goes, attempts to resuscitate, he attempts to do whatever he can.
William said he hurried up and rushed to her side to control the bleeding as he dialed 911.
2, 3, 4.
To the detectives, William looks like a broken man.
He just explained he witnessed his fiance committing suicide, and that's not an easy thing to cope with.
Thank you.
With any death like this, they have to perform an investigation. But in the case of suicide, it's typically just a formality.
The crime scene has the appearance of a suicide. The victim is lying on the floor with a gun in close proximity. The blood is in the appropriate area. The gunshot appears to match up with the scenario provided by Mr. Pounds.
They did find an entry on the wall from the gunshot wound to her head.
But then investigators discover something else that piques their interest. A second bullet hole.
Looks like another bullet hole into the bed.
Sure does.
So this strikes investigators as odd because based on Williams' recitation of events, she only fired one bullet.
However, detectives know that a traumatic event can play tricks on a witness's mind.
When you have so much adrenaline and stuff rushing through your body, sometimes you can't account for what really happened during that time.
We might have what we call auditory exclusion, which really lessens a person's ability to hear in chaotic situations.
Also, with many suicide attempts, some may fire a practice shot before they work up the courage to turn the gun on themselves.
Having completed their preliminary examination, detectives hand the scene over to their forensic team.
Now, Bibb County investigators have to face the difficult decision of notifying Kendra's loved ones.
Kendra's teenage daughters are with their father.
The children, her ex-husband, are all shocked that Kendra had taken her own life.
Suicide? Are you sure?
It was disbelief, because there was no prior indication that Kendra would be susceptible to committing suicide.
There has to be another explanation.
Our mom would never hurt herself.
The family did not believe that suicide was the cause of her death.
They're convinced there has to be more to this story.
Something's not right with it. And your gut is always right.
Detectives in Macon, Georgia have learned that moments before Kendra Jackson allegedly committed suicide, her fiance, William Pounds, called off their engagement.
He was starting to have some second thoughts about the future of them as a couple.
William said that she grabbed his .40 caliber pistol,
Kendra!
shot herself in the head.
But now Kendra's loved ones are telling the investigators they find that story hard to believe.
There's no way our mom killed herself.
They didn't believe that she would take her own life.
The family was adamant because it was outside of her character and also her faith.
What about warning signs? Did your mom seem depressed lately?
No, not at all.
Amen.
Kendra's daughters tell investigators they spent the previous day with their mother and William.
They said they didn't feel anything out of the ordinary.
And there was even cause to celebrate because Kendra's youngest daughter had just landed a new job.
They had dinner together to celebrate, and then she dropped them off to their father's house to spend the night.
Kendra made plans the next day to spend time with her daughter and go shopping. It just didn't line up.
Kendra's daughters also echo what William said in his statement. The couple wasn't in agreement about their impending wedding.
He just kept pushing back the wedding.
William and Kendra got engaged in 2012. They initially had planned on getting married in 2014. And when the date came around, William encouraged the couple to push it back even further.
Mr. Pound's explanation for the delay was financial issues.
The couple bickered about it. They had, small discussions. Nothing ever rose to the level of thinking that Kendra would take her life behind it.
By the end of the interview, investigators consider that Kendra Jackson's death may not be an open and shut case.
The fact that her loved ones, the people closest to Kendra, were so adamant that this could not be, that leads investigators to reassess the facts.
Could there be more to the story?
When detectives receive the results of Kendra's autopsy, even more questions rise to the surface.
Mr. Pounds told detectives that Kendra shot herself in the left side of the head. Well, the autopsy clearly disputed that. The evidence showed that she had shot herself in the right side.
Of course, adrenaline was running high. So maybe that was an explanation.
However, like the earlier finding that not one, but 2 bullets were fired inside the couple's bedroom, it's another inconsistency in William's version of events.
Had the chaos played tricks on William's memory, or is the story not adding up?
Police ask William to come into the station for a follow-up interview.
Appreciate you coming in on short notice.
Of course. Anything I can do to help.
William was cooperative and he seemed willing to assist in the investigation.
The night Kendra shot herself, tell me again what you saw.
He tells them again about their argument and how she got up and grabbed the gun from their dresser drawer.
William just concretely says she shot herself on the left side of her head. Now, the investigators know from coroner evidence that that is not true.
At that point, Mr. Pound's story starts to unravel.
Your version of events doesn't line up with the evidence. There were 2 shots fired in that bedroom.
Well, I only remember 1 shot.
Did you alter the scene in any way?
No.
That's when investigators asked William a point-blank question.
Did you shoot Kendra? Absolutely not.
Despite the inconsistencies in his story, William maintains that Kendra's death was a suicide. But before investigators end the interview, he drops a bombshell.
He tells police officers that he was in another relationship.
Because I'm engaged.
He was engaged to someone else, as well as Kendra.
During an interview with police in Macon, Georgia, William Pounds has just made a stunning confession. The 47-year-old pastor tells detectives he called off his wedding with Kendra Jackson because he was engaged to another woman.
This information comes as a huge surprise to investigators.
Who's gonna believe that a pastor is engaged to 2 women. You know, not even believe. Who's going to even suspect?
According to William, the other woman in his life is a police officer who lives 45 minutes away in Atlanta.
What's her name?
Sierra Brinkley.
It's a discovery that forces the investigators to rethink everything they thought they knew. Could Sierra Brinkley be involved in Kendra's death?
Maybe she wanted William all to, herself.
The fact that she was a police officer, she had access to a weapon that might help her facilitate this type of crime.
Sierra agrees to drive down from Atlanta to meet detectives at the Macon Police Department for an interview.
She confirms that yes, she and William, they are engaged.
She reveals to detectives that they had actually been together for over 10 years.
You said 10 years?
That's right.
I mean, that was like wow.
Double life. That's my first thoughts. That's a double life.
Imagine having 2 fully involved relationships happening an hour away from each other for 10 years. The level of coordination, the level of secrecy that you must maintain.
You're trying to satisfy 2 people. You're trying to take care of 2 homes.
As an investigator, when it comes to Sierra, we want to look, when did she become aware that Kendra existed? Where was she at the time this incident happened?
According to Sierra, Kendra's existence was no secret.
What William had told Sierra is that Kendra was an ex, that they had been broken up, separated for years.
I thought that was the truth up until a few weeks ago.
One day, Sierra decided to drive down to Macon and surprise William at his house.
When Sierra popped up at William's house unannounced, Kendra's there.
Sierra asked her, what are you doing here?
What do you mean, what am I doing here? Who the hell are you?
Kendra held up her finger with a wedding ring on it and said that they was engaged to get married.
So what did you do next?
I confronted William.
Wait, no. Go upstairs. I'll handle this. Go upstairs.
What is going on?
Let me explain.
William promises to Sierra that things are over with Kendra.
Look, she just came over to pick up some stuff. Our relationship, it's over. Come on. Don't give me that look. You're my only girl and my soon-to-be wife. Okay?
He says they can start preparing for their marriage by going to premarital counseling, hopefully to resolve some of the issues around honesty and fidelity.
And you agreed to go to counseling?
Yes, I did.
They were due to be married on June 12th, and that was the exact same day that Kendra died.
But as investigators know, instead of walking down the aisle with Sierra, William spent that evening with Kendra.
When she found out that William hadn't ended things with Kendra, Sierra could have flown into a jealous rage.
Did you do it and now William is covering up for you?
When investigators pose that question to Sierra, she immediately denies any involvement in Kendra's death.
Of course, Sierra says no. The last time she was even at William's house was on June 5th, a full week before the incident happened.
As police work on verifying Sierra's statement, detectives receive the completed report from the CSI technicians who processed William's home, and their findings are eye-opening.
When detectives had initially walked through the crime scene, they noticed a bullet hole in the wall, but despite exhaustive searching, the CSI was not able to recover the bullet.
What happened to that bullet that was in there, and why was it pried out of the wall?
The forensic team also failed to recover the second bullet that went through the mattress, or either shell casings.
A closer examination of the comforter and mattress revealed more alarming evidence.
They could tell by the way that the bullet had passed through the comforter that the comforter had been moved after the shots were fired. The bed had apparently been remade in an effort to conceal the bullet hole in the mattress and the comforter and the sheets.
Somebody had tampered with the scene.
The trajectory of the bullet that killed Kendra raises an even bigger red flag.
There was no way that Kendra was standing when she allegedly shot herself in the head. The evidence points to her being on the ground.
Based on these new findings, investigators feel confident that Kendra was murdered.
These are no longer discrepancies that you can attribute to faulty memory. So police believe that William has been lying. He's trying to protect himself or his other woman.
When investigators listen to the 911 call William made on the night of Kendra's death, they make yet another chilling discovery.
You still there with me? Sir?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
They noticed that Mr. Pounds muted his end of the call 3 to 4 times.
Hey, partner.
Why would a person in the process of administering first aid, CPR, mute his call?
1, 2, 3. You still there with me? Sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Wait, you hear that?
Play that back.
Sir?
Yes, ma'am.
When he unmuted the phone call, you can hear the toilet flushing in the background.
If you are doing CPR, then how are we hearing the flush? What's really going on?
As Macon investigators listen to the 911 call local pastor William Pounds made on the night he alleges his fiancée Kendra Jackson committed suicide, they notice a curious noise in the background.
You still there with me? Sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You can hear the toilet flushing in the background.
They suspected that toilet flushing noise could actually be William flushing down the bullet and the shell casings.
When detectives follow up with the paramedics who responded that night, they poke even more holes in William's story.
William told 911 operators that he performed CPR on Kendra before first responders arrived. But first responders, they said there was no sign of blood on William's clothes, except for a couple tiny specks on his pants.
With the amount of blood on the scene, his hands and his lower shirt should have been covered in blood.
The first responders go on to say that William told them something else in those first frantic minutes.
Their story they got from Mr. Pounds was different than the story that Mr. Pounds told the detective.
He said that he was downstairs and then he heard the gunshot go off upstairs, and then that's when he ran upstairs.
William told them that he had to kick the door in order to get to Kendra. There was no evidence that the door had been kicked in at all.
As red flags pile up, detectives also start to hear from Kendra's closest confidants. They all agree that her decade-plus relationship with William was nothing short of a roller coaster.
Kendra's friends explained to investigators that William was not this perfect fiance, perfect man.
William was a liar, he was a manipulator.
He knew he was good looking and he had the gift of gab. I think he felt as though that was a calling card for him to get into any door he wanted to.
She had caught him cheating on multiple occasions.
Who is this?
Kendra.
Who is she?
Phone.
Who is this?
Stop.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry, okay? You know how much I love you. It won't happen again.
To their dismay, friends say Kendra stayed with William despite his philandering behavior.
Even when she knew it was broken, she loved enough to be able, I can put it back together, I can fix it. She really believed that.
Jesus reminds us to forgive.
It's almost like, you know, when somebody's in a Ponzi scam. and they keep putting their money into it. And you don't want to tell them not to, but you kind of want to take their checking account. But she kept depositing, and he kept taking.
She's already experienced divorce. So maybe Kendra was thinking, I don't want to start over.
Friends say the couple's engagement offered Kendra a fleeting moment of happiness.
She was proud of her ring, but I think that's all she had, was that ring. It was a shallow happiness.
They would discuss a wedding date, and he would move it or come up with some type of excuse.
Anything that he said was a lie. All of it was a lie. And every day it was killing her. Every day it was taking more of Kendra from Kendra. And she loved so hard that she put blinders on and couldn't even see that she was being stripped from herself.
However, in the past month, friends say Kendra had stopped wearing her engagement ring.
After Kendra found out about Sierra, that felt like the last straw.
Now, not only have you been played by a fool, but you've been playing the fool.
Kendra was done at this point.
In the course of their interviews, detectives learned that William's affair with Sierra Brinkley wasn't the only one.
The investigation reveals that William had been seen about 5 separate women.
He was stringing them all along, telling each of them that they were the love of his life.
It was disgusting.
When authorities received Sierra Brinkley's phone records, William's last defense finally crumbles.
She was in Atlanta. She was nowhere near Macon when this took place.
She was not at the scene of the crime when it happened.
On August 21st, 2015, Bibb County Sheriff's investigators charged William Pounds with malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault.
William was arrested for Kendra's murder, and he was calm and maintained his innocence.
The family finally has this moment where they can breathe and they have a sense of relief.
But that feeling of relief doesn't last long.
His bond was $500,000. That's a lot. But he reached out to his congregation.
So on September 15th, at William's bond hearing, his congregation shows up and rallies around him.
Pastors in the faith community are revered because they are delivering the word of God every week. People truly believe they are instruments of the divine. And so the initial reaction for a lot of people is denial.
They was like, no, he didn't do this. And they went ahead and bonded him out.
Within weeks of his arrest, William is back on the street as a free man.
For Kendra's loved ones, it's an ominous sign of things to come.
It just goes to show just how powerful he is. He feels invincible.
It's almost like he's gotten away with it. He was so charismatic. He tricked them, too.
If I never had a problem, if I never had conflict.
He is the instrument of God. They can't let God go to jail.
Then I wouldn't know how to go to the manufacturer.
By the fall of 2015, Macon police have charged Kendra Jackson's fiance, William Pounds, with killing her and staging it as a suicide.
William is a respected, beloved pastor, so the congregation is quick to rally money to get him released.
They felt like he was wrongfully accused.
They paid his bond and allowed him to get back out on the street.
Backed by a devoted flock of believers, prosecutors feel that William's conviction is no sure thing.
It can be hard to overcome a defendant's image, especially when someone is seen upright and moral.
In the eyes of the public, William Pounds is a pillar in his community. And so it's gonna be difficult to convince a jury that he's actually a liar, cheater, and a murderer.
But as the trial date approaches, prosecutors receive a helping hand from an unexpected source: William himself.
As a condition of his bond, Mr. Pounds had to wear an ankle monitor so his whereabouts could be monitored. He had restrictions.
He's approved to go to places that, a normal person would need to go. The doctor's office, the grocery store, his home.
However, the powerful pastor has no intention of following the rules.
He was breaking his bond conditions. He was drinking, he was going out to parties like nothing never happened.
Kendra's gone, this sweetheart. These two daughters now don't have a mother. So many people affected. And the nerve of him to celebrate anything ever again in life.
He was clearly violating the conditions of his bond, and he was rearrested.
This is when the congregation started to realize that this is not the church-going man that they all thought he was.
Just to see that many people being manipulated at one time, it's just evil. I felt bad for the people.
When William's trial begins in October 2017, he still remains confident that his pious image will carry him through to a not guilty verdict.
William enters the courtroom with a Bible in his hand.
He's still keeping up with this persona that he's created.
But prosecutors aren't having it.
They contend that William's mountain of lies can prove that he's the killer.
Prosecutors tell the jury that on the night of June 12, 2015, William and Kendra got into an argument.
I noticed you ain't been wearing that ring I gave you.
You damn right I haven't.
Based on the statements from her friends, prosecutors believe that Kendra was done with William.
Why would I wear the ring of a man who's engaged to another woman?
As simmering resentments bubbled to the surface, the couple's argument intensified.
Prosecutors believe that Kendra, having seen William's web of lies firsthand, was going to expose him for a fraud, a liar, a manipulator.
That's right. I'm gonna tell the entire congregation that their pastor is a damn hypocrite.
You know what?
And so instead of taking responsibility for his actions, investigators say that he opted to silence her altogether.
What are you gonna tell now?
What are you doing?
What are you gonna tell now?
What are you doing?
You're not doing anything. Where are you going?
William took his military-issued pistol and fired 2 shots. One that went through the bed and another that went through Kendra's head.
Once Kendra was dead, Mr. Pounds immediately tried to stage the scene so it appeared that Kendra had committed suicide. Mr. Pounds retrieved the bullet from the wall, retrieved the casing from the floor. He took both items into the bathroom and flushed them down the toilet.
Once the jury retires to deliberate, it doesn't take them long to return with their verdict.
William Pounds was found guilty of malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault.
William was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole.
It's a victory for the dedicated investigators who worked tirelessly to bring William to justice. But for Kendra's loved ones, the conviction falls short of healing their wounds.
I don't think there's any amount of time that he could do to repair the pain and the hurt and the brokenness. That doesn't bring Kendra back.
It takes a unique kind of manipulator to prey on so many women.
He did it for arrogance. He did it for nothing. He did it because he felt as though he could get away with it.
While nothing can replace what Kendra's loved ones lost, her legacy continues to inspire them to this day.
Kendra taught me that regardless of what happens, you hold your head high. And when everything is said and done, your love and your life will speak for it.
She was a devoted wife and mother who wanted nothing more than to have her own slice of the American dream.
She was like a really sweet person. She was like very tender-hearted.
Her husband was handsome, he valued education, and he shared Harriet's dream of building a successful family here in the United States.
But in the dead of night, a violent attack rips this family apart.
Two guys just jumped in my house. They're like, don't make me have to kill you. Don't get your mom killed.
When they head into the master bedroom, there's blood everywhere.
She had been slaughtered.
To be killed in such a violent way sends a different message.
But who had a motive to kill this loving mother?
Your mom's dead.
No! No, she's not! She's not!
She had absolutely no enemies.
Every direction that detectives looked, they could not find anything.
Years go by as her killers walk free. Until investigators determine enough is enough.
We decided that it was time to think outside the box.
Police put together a sting operation.
It was a great moment. Then, just as quickly as that moment came, we were back to the nail biting.
I was kind of in the bottom of my stomach, like, oh shoot, this is like really not good.
Okay, he's driving off. Not sure what happened.
September 29th, 2004. On this cool autumn night, most residents of Westminster, California are sound asleep.
Westminster's a smaller bedroom community, about 11 square miles. It is about 5 to 10 miles from the beach. It can be busy. It can also be a quiet city.
But at 3:30 a.m., the typical quiet night is interrupted by a disturbing 911 call from 17-year-old Ryan Gerges.
Ryan Gerges called in a panic to say that he had been attacked.
Sir, what happened? Two guys just jumped in my house, and then they tied me up and they put me in the closet. Are they gone now? I don't know, I'm running to the neighbor's house.
Ryan is frantic because his mother, 55-year-old Harriet Gerges, may be in danger.
My mom was inside the house, but they probably beat her up and took her or something, I don't know. I didn't want to stay around.
He doesn't know what to do, so he grabs his phone and he runs out of the house.
Aren't you concerned about your mother? I am concerned about my mother. That's why I don't want to go in there and have nothing on me. They're like, don't make me have to kill you. Don't get your mom killed.
Ryan says, I was in fear for my life. I was in survival mode.
If it were me, I'd be very concerned about my mother. I want you to go back to your house. I know, but I don't want to go back and have them there and they shoot me. We'll be out there in a minute, okay?
Egyptian beauty Harriet Gerges was known for always putting others before herself.
She was like a really sweet person. She was like very tender-hearted. She was just very compassionate.
Harriet had big dreams of getting married and starting a family in the United States. And in 1980, her dreams became a reality.
Friends and family of Harriet in Egypt said that they found a nice young man that they wanted to set her up with, Magdi Gerges.
Magdi Gerges checked all the boxes Harriet was looking for.
He was handsome, he valued education, and he shared Harriet's dream of building a successful family here in the United States.
The two wasted no time tying the knot.
The marriage itself was arranged, and it occurred within 2 weeks.
After the wedding, the couple moved to Long Beach, California, where they were blessed with 2 sons, Richard and Ryan.
They built a life for themselves and did whatever they could to provide for their kids over the years.
My mom would work in like a sterile lab, like actually soldering like the chips and stuff.
However, Magdi was the primary breadwinner in the family. He worked as a respiratory therapist at Torrance Memorial Hospital.
Like many immigrants, Magdi had an incredibly strong work ethic and drive to succeed.
He just worked all the time, and he would just save, put away the money.
To save some money, he would chew gum for a little bit and put it in his refrigerator so he could chew it later.
And all of that hard work paid off, and he was able to save enough money to buy his family a home in Westminster.
We had a nice little spot over there, a little gated community. My mom would take care of the house. She would always cook for us.
Something smells great.
Oh, there you are, Richard.
Can I do anything to help you, Mom?
Oh, no, I've got it. Sit.
As their sons were becoming more independent, Harriet and Magdy were preparing to enter the next chapter of their lives.
Their oldest son, Richard, was in nursing school, while their youngest, Ryan, was a junior in high school, getting ready to fill out college applications.
Harriet and Magdy were now looking forward to finally being able to take more time for themselves.
But now, the Gerges family is struck with terror after a violent home invasion.
The only family members home at the time were Ryan and Harriet, so Richard and Magdy were spared.
After reluctantly returning home, Ryan calls his family while he waits for the authorities.
Richard, you gotta come home. Hurry!
I got a phone call from Ryan. He sounded very hysterical. I hopped in the car, took off.
It's then that first responders arrive at the home.
Ryan is clearly in distress. He has blood on his face, and he has duct tape wrapped around his neck and his wrist.
You gotta go upstairs and check on my mom, please.
After ensuring that Ryan isn't seriously injured, police officers head inside to check on his mother.
Officers enter the home with weapons drawn, but once inside, it's eerily quiet.
Upon entering the master bedroom, officers make a horrific discovery. Harriet Gerges is in a pool of blood. She's been stabbed to death.
After emigrating from Egypt to the United States, Harriet Gerges had achieved the quintessential American dream with her husband, Magdy.
The couple had 2 sons and built a home for their family in Westminster, California.
But now, police have just found Harriet brutally stabbed to death in their Southern California home.
Harriet wasn't just stabbed to death. She was nearly decapitated.
We're gonna need homicide down here. We'll secure the scene.
Authorities' next objective is to tend to the 911 caller, Harriet's son, 17-year-old Ryan Gerges.
Ryan had several pieces of evidence still on him, including duct tape, so he needed to be processed by our forensics. First, his hands were bagged.
Hey, what's going on? Where's Mom?
As soon as I got home, I could see my little brother, and he had like bags on his hands. And I was like, what's going on? Where's my mom? Where's my mom? They didn't want to answer.
At this point, police don't know who's all involved in the crime.
Please, come with me.
And then they ended up taking me and Ryan to the police station.
Moments later, homicide detectives and CSI arrive on scene to investigate.
When they go into the master bedroom, there's blood everywhere. And the bed next to where Harriet's body is found is filled with stab marks, as though the assailant stabbed her over and over and over again in a vicious rage.
She had been slaughtered.
Faced with the brutality of the crime scene, investigators now wonder, was this a botched robbery or something far more sinister?
Looking through the rest of the house, it doesn't appear that anything has been stolen.
There was nothing taken. There was nothing of value taken, and there was money, and there were other things like jewelry found in the house in plain view.
On top of that, there's no signs of forced entry, and the family lives in a gated community that requires a code just to get in.
To be killed and stabbed in such a violent way sends a different message. Harriet was killed by someone who knew her.
Hoping to get some answers, detectives head back to the station to speak with the Gerges brothers.
They decide to put Ryan and Richard in separate interrogation rooms.
Investigators sit down with Ryan first.
He was the only percipient witness to this and the only person in the house.
Really, at this point, he's the only suspect.
I'm doing all right. So you are going to talk about that in a second, okay? All right.
Detectives don't waste any time cutting right to the chase.
Did you have a chance to check on your mom before you ran the house?
Nah, I didn't have a chance at all because I was thinking like survival mode.
He was just afraid of what he might find behind the closed bedroom door.
But now, Ryan is ready to clear his name and tell police everything.
It did make me feel uncomfortable by the questions that they were asking, but I was the only other person in the home during that time. I know that they needed to get the story straight, so I felt like I just needed to lay everything out on the table for them.
Ryan says it all began around 3:20 that morning.
I woke up to the door opening. I thought it was my mom or something. And then one of them put their hands over my mouth and they're like, don't say anything. Don't say anything.
Shut up, kid. And then I also felt something like in my mouth, like gloves. So I bit down on the hand.
And then like I jumped up and then like they both like pushed me and then I fell over.
I got slammed on the floor. My hands were duct taped.
They also wrapped duct tape around his mouth so he couldn't speak.
I noticed that the person that had tied me was taking off his gloves to grab like some shoestrings.
Then they used his shoelaces to wrap around his wrist to reinforce the duct tape.
I was bound at this point, and then I was thrown in the closet.
That's when Harriet, awoken by the commotion, ran into the room.
Oh, please don't hurt my son. You can have anything you want.
When I was in the closet, I was still able to see a little bit.
My mom came and then the guy like put tape over my mom's mouth and everything. And she was resisting him, but my mom was like, it's not. And then I took her somewhere.
He saw his mom being escorted off by the other suspect into her room.
After that, things went quiet.
When I was in the closet, my heart was beating real. I think I really hear like every little small thing.
But after a few excruciating moments in the closet, Ryan heard a familiar noise.
He heard footsteps that sound like they were walking away, and then a car engine starting outside.
I was like, it's either now or never, like, if I'm gonna get out. So I broke free, have the tape off me and all that.
I told myself that I needed to just run to my cell phone right away and then just run out of the house and then call 911.
After Ryan's story, detectives no longer believe he had anything to do with his mom's death. It's obvious he was just another victim.
Although one of the assailants Ryan described wore a mask, he claims to have gotten a closer look at the second attacker's face.
It looked like he was one of those guys like that just came out of the pen and stuff, and just like wanted revenge on someone. You recognize him, someone again? Yeah.
Ryan agreed to later sit down with a sketch artist to describe the man's face, so they can get a good visual of at least one of the men to start hunting for.
With their suspicions of Ryan dissipated, detectives finally tell him about his mother's demise.
I'm sorry to have to tell you that your mom did pass away. We're obviously going through the process of trying to do everything we can to make sure we find the people that are responsible for this.
I just couldn't believe it, and it was just really tough when I heard that.
In a separate interrogation room, they deliver the tragic news to Ryan's brother Richard as well.
Before we go on, please, I deserve that.
So we have a murder investigation.
Oh, no, she's not. No, she's not. I didn't hear that.
My whole world went in slow motion. I remember I was like pretty distraught.
No! No, she's not! She's not! Richard, take it easy.
For the two young men, it's difficult to wrap their heads around their mother's death.
My mom was a very sweet, loving person, and she went to church a lot, and she didn't have any enemies.
But when detectives ask if there's anyone who could possibly be behind this, Harriet's sons have just one person in mind.
The only person that she had a problem with was my dad.
Police in Westminster, California are speaking with Ryan and Richard Gerges regarding the murder of their loving mother, 55-year-old Harriet Gerges.
She was killed in a pretty brutal fashion.
Harriet had absolutely no enemies. She was beloved in her community. She had a very small circle.
The only person her sons believe might have a motive would be their own father, Magdi Gerges.
The only person that she had a problem with was my dad.
Me and Ryan were just like, he had something to do with it.
The wrinkle in this scenario is that Ryan has shared that it was 2 black men that were the perpetrators of this crime, but they're wondering if this may now be a murder for hire.
But why would their father want to pay someone to kill his own wife? According to Richard, his parents' relationship wasn't as rosy as it appeared.
Richard says his parents are in a heated divorce. He says that his father even moved out of the house recently, which is why he wasn't there during the attack.
I don't know. We had like the whole situation with my dad. They had like the whole court case going.
That's when Richard tells detectives a story, and it all begins to make sense.
It was around their anniversary time, and he didn't do anything. And she told him, like, hey, you know, like, why don't you take me anywhere? Or like, you know, it's our anniversary, you know, we should be celebrating this. And she was really upset.
You're not listening to me. You never put in any effort anymore.
Oh, here we go again.
Why did I ever marry you? You're so selfish.
In response, Magdi did something that no one, including Harriet, could anticipate.
He got really upset and ended up punching her in the face.
Magdi had actually abused Harriet for years, but it had never been this bad.
I had walked in and I'd seen my mom. She had tears coming down, and I saw my brother. He was like, Dad hit her, Dad hit her.
Oh my God, this has gone too far.
I confronted him. He just told me to like stay out of it. So I ended up taking her to the hospital.
At the hospital, Harriet was diagnosed with a broken nose and a hairline fracture beneath her left eye.
Magdi had physically abused her for years, but this time would be the last time.
She told him that, you know, my dad punched her in the face, and then that got the cops involved.
By the time Harriet and her sons got home, Magdi was on his way out, in handcuffs.
We were all like pretty shocked because we came home and the police were there. When they like put handcuffs on him, I remember him looking at me and he was like, this is because of you.
You did this to me! You'll be sorry, all of you!
Police officers followed up with Harriet and helped her get a protection order against Magdi, which banned Magdi from coming anywhere near her or the family home.
She really like ripped at him, like, you know, like he was abusive to me this whole time. Everything she said was true. She wanted a divorce.
Magdi was obviously infuriated.
Now, he could potentially lose his licensing where he worked at the hospital, and he could be out of a lot of money.
If she prevailed in the divorce, he could lose half his property, including the home that he worked so hard to buy.
Now with Magdi arrested, the family lived in fear of what he would do when he made bail.
He got that like stone cold look in his eyes because we've never really crossed him that way. I was kind of in the bottom of my stomach like, oh shoot, this is like really not good. This guy's gonna retaliate.
Westminster police have just learned that murder victim Harriet Gerges had a very tumultuous relationship with her husband, Magdi.
Magdi had been abusive toward Harriet for years, but after a violent punch to the face, she subsequently pressed charges and filed for divorce.
My dad, he was like really upset. I was kind of in the bottom of my stomach like, oh shoot, this is like really not good. This guy's gonna retaliate.
Magdi made bail after just 5 days behind bars and got himself a new apartment.
My dad was living in Long Beach on a restraining order.
Now, 7 months later, it seems Magdi is the only person with a motive to want Harriet dead.
So they bring Magdi in and ask him if he knows anything about his wife's murder, and his demeanor is very nonchalant.
So is there any reason you could think of why someone would want to break into that house?
sir, and your guess is better than mine.
He says he has no idea, he doesn't know anything, but detectives were very suspicious of Magdi.
So they decide to just directly confront him with their biggest question.
Did you pay anybody to break into your wife's house?
What kind of question is this, my friend?
That's a question I have to ask.
No, I would never do that.
Magdi denies it. And once it becomes clear that Magdi's not going to confess, investigators have no choice but to let him leave. However, he remains the primary focus of their investigation.
So as soon as Magdi leaves the station, investigators get to work looking for something to connect him to Harriet's murder.
Detectives are able to confirm Magdi's alibi that he was at his apartment in Long Beach during the time of the murder.
We looked to see if there was a large amount of money withdrawn, as well as phone records to see if Magdi had talked to anybody that was out of his normal day-to-day routine, and we were unable to locate anything.
They tried looking for the man in the sketch Ryan helped them draft, but they couldn't find any man who fit the description with a connection to Magdi.
Every direction that detectives looked, the DA looked, they could not find anything tying Magdi to the murder.
Police, they were very optimistic at first, but they were running into a lot of dead ends.
Years pass without any new leads, and Magdi even moves back into the family home.
Ryan and Richard had moved out of the house and they were living with grandparents at that time.
Regardless, Harriet's loved ones aren't giving up the fight for justice.
We'd be calling the police and they're like, nothing new. I kept trying to push to keep it open and to keep things going. The whole department was trying to work on it.
And finally, in 2012, a breakthrough in forensic technology allows for a glimmer of hope.
With the advancement of technology and DNA, there was a chance that DNA evidence could have been left behind.
Ryan mentioned that when one of the intruders was tying a shoestring around his hands, he removed his gloves.
It was very likely that his DNA was transferred to the shoelace.
The detective went ahead and was like, you know what, I'll rerun the DNA evidence and we'll see what we could find.
When they ran that DNA profile through the National DNA database called CODIS, it belonged to a known gang member and hitman named Anthony Bridget.
Anthony's record shows that he is a career criminal, and he does have gang ties to the Trey 57 Crips gang.
Anthony Bridget had killed in the past. He fit the profile if you were looking to hire a hitman to do this job.
We compared the photo of the sketch made on the night of the homicide with Ryan to that photo of Anthony Bridget, and it was striking how similar the photos were.
He was someone totally opposite from anyone that our family had any ties to or any connections to. It was just mind-blowing.
Anthony had been arrested in 2007 for a parole violation and was currently locked up in California State Prison.
But now that they found Anthony, they're still wondering, did Magdi actually hire him? Or did Anthony have his own motive for the break-in?
Desperate for answers, detectives take a trip down to the prison to meet Anthony Bridget in person.
They're hoping that once they present all of the evidence they have on Anthony, he'll flip on Magdi to save his own skin.
Several of our detectives went up to interview him. Unfortunately, he didn't say much information.
Anthony refuses to give them any intel on Magdi or his mysterious accomplice from the night of the murder.
He's not talking. You know how it is with gang members. Snitches get stitches, right?
With Anthony a dead end, investigators must find another way to get the truth. So they meet with the district attorney's office to come up with a plan.
We decided that it was time to think outside the box.
We came up with an idea. If we posed as a friend of Anthony Bridget, who we knew was involved in the killing, and asked Magdi for more money, then we would confirm that our suspicions were true, that this was a murder for hire.
At that point, only two things could happen. Magdi could call the police and complain he's being harassed by gang members, which is what an innocent man would do, or he could react by paying them off.
Investigators in Westminster, California are convinced Magdi Gerges is responsible for hiring 2 men to kill his wife, Harriet. They just need to prove it.
We decided that it was time to think outside the box.
They recruited 2 police officers from Long Beach who were on gang details, who knew how the Crips dressed and how they talked and how they behaved.
We set up surveillance and made the decision to have them confront Magdi at his home.
As Magdi returns home from a shopping trip on January 30th, 2013, the stage is set.
The undercover officer who's leading the investigation using the pseudonym D Money confronts Magdi.
Check her out, man. My uncle locked up in the pen right now. We approached him about killing your wife, too. And how? What I'm saying, we don't care about the beginning here. We want to get paid for it.
Magdi is not sure how to respond, but he doesn't back away. So they said, listen, you need to just give us $5,000.
Magdi doesn't take the bait right away, so the undercover officers put their phone number on a piece of paper and tell him to call them the next day about the payment.
Give me a call, man. That's my number. Just give me a call tomorrow about $5,000. Pick me up tomorrow.
This was all recorded on video, taking the piece of paper with the phone number. And now we had to sit and wait.
The next morning, investigators are anxious to see what Magdi does with the phone number.
Now, if he's innocent, he should call the police right away and report what happened to him.
But the next day, he went into the city of Long Beach and stopped at a payphone.
It looks like he's talking to somebody right now. Look at it on his phone.
When Magdi makes his call, it's to none other than D Money.
And we were able to not only watch Magdi make the phone call from the payphone, but listen in through the wire of the undercover officer.
Magdi manages to call, and then all the confirmation we were waiting for was spoken. He said, I already paid.
Problem is, my boy's locked down in the pen like I told you yesterday. So, we just trying to get paid just to keep it hush. You know what I mean?
I said you got paid everything.
This is the first time that Magdi has admitted to making any type of payment in connection with his wife's murder.
Now we knew we were right.
As the undercover officer plays along, Magdi shows his true colors.
We got paid everything, but they pushing up on my boy, man. 5,000 ain't that much, man.
I don't have it. That's the problem. 1,500 I have on me.
Magdi once again showed what was most important to him, which was money, and began trying to negotiate down the $5,000.
It was a great moment. Then, just as quickly as that moment came, we were back to the nail biting. Because the next thing he did was ask who the middleman was.
Who was the middleman?
This was new information to us. We were unaware of a middleman.
For a moment, they wonder if everything is about to blow up in their faces.
Fortunately for us, our undercover officer was quick to think on his feet.
Everybody know who the middleman was. I ain't worried about that. The information that I got, player, I can go to police. But I'm not. I'm just trying to get my money so I can go.
Magdi doesn't push the question again.
Once we had the confirmation that this was a murder for hire and there was a middleman involved, the next step would be the exchange for what we considered to be hush money.
You gonna bring 1,500?
Okay. All right.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Bye.
Now the last question, will he actually pay up?
The next day, an entire team of undercover officers meet at the location to wait for Magdi.
We weren't sure if he was getting cold feet to go to the meet or not.
Eventually, Magdi shows up and the undercover officers go over to meet him, and they chat for only a moment before things get real.
Magdi never got out of his vehicle, but he did do a money exchange.
And as Magdi hands over the $1,500 cash, Westminster's undercover officer has one last question to ask him.
He had asked Magdi what his wife did that was so bad to have her murdered.
But he didn't take the bait.
Then he tried to drive away.
Okay, he's driving off. Not sure what happened.
For nearly a decade, Magdi Gerges has been the prime suspect in the murder of his wife, Harriet. And now, California investigators have launched a sting operation in an attempt to finally take him down.
So Magdi shows up to meet who he believes are gang members, but are actually undercover cops. And he hands them $1,500.
Our undercover officer had asked Magdi what his wife did that was so bad to have her murdered. Magdi didn't bite. He tried to drive away.
Okay, he's driving off. Not sure what happened.
They didn't need his answer. They still had more than enough evidence against him to take him down.
Long Beach is taking the takedown. Long Beach is doing the takedown. Stand by.
When they made an arrest on my dad, I mean, it was like a bittersweet moment because it's like, you know, my father getting arrested, but at the same time, I felt like wow, like we finally are about to get some justice.
Back at the station, detectives put Magdi in an interrogation room, and he immediately plays the victim.
He becomes very agitated, crying.
My wife problem is not solved yet. And we consider the husband as a suspect.
You know why I know why you're suspect. If you paid somebody to do this, and we know you paid them.
Detectives here are pushing for a confession, or at least for Magdi to realize that he has incriminated himself.
I'm not hired anybody. We recorded it. No.
There's an old saying, even the dumbest fish won't get caught if he keeps his mouth shut. And this man did. He maintained that sort of silence throughout.
To try to squeeze a confession out of him, the Westminster police think outside the box once again. They bring in their secret weapon, Magdi's son, Ryan Gerges.
We believe that by utilizing Ryan as an interview tactic to confront his father, that maybe his father would break down and give us information.
Both boys had not been speaking to their father since the death of their mother. They had moved out of the house.
I was talking about psychoprivacy. Is that you? What's wrong with you? You forgot that? You don't even look the same. You don't look like the same person at all.
And that's actually the first time that I confronted my dad about everything. And I sat there and I drilled him. I told him, like, how can you do this to our family? And I can't believe it. And he just opened up with like a sob story.
How can you still live in the same house that a murder had taken place in? How can you? It's not easy, but I have no other choice. What are you talking about? You have different choices in your life. You had a choice not to hurt me and Richard. You had a choice not to hurt your wife.
Unfortunately, he just sat there and denied everything and said he had nothing to do with it.
I was loving you, caring for you, believe. No, you did not care for me. Okay, I can die now, and I know that my son doesn't want to see me. Thank you. It's okay, my son. You're gonna be my son forever, in my heart, okay? Can't do this no more. Thank you.
I did walk away because I felt like my blood was boiling, but I just felt like I just got something off of my chest that day.
Even without a confession, police have enough evidence to charge Magdi Gerges with capital murder. And finally, 10 years after Harriet Gerges' murder, Magdi's trial begins in the spring of 2014.
The prosecution team paints Magdi as somebody who was focused on accumulating financial wealth, was selfish, and was an abuser.
Harriet's domestic violence case against Magdi Gurgis was one of the primary motives for why she was killed. He would lose his license if he was convicted of a felony at that time. So it was very important that that case go away. In addition to that, there was all of the divorce issues.
He was very frugal, and he knew that if they would have divorced, my dad would have probably had to pay alimony.
So prosecutors believe Magdi came up with a plan. He would eliminate his wife before she could ruin his reputation and take his precious money.
Prosecutors believe that Magdi went through some type of middleman to hire 2 men to kill his wife.
They're certain one of the men was Anthony Bridget, but the identities of the second killer and the middleman are still a mystery.
Magdi gave them the code to the community gates and gave them a spare key to unlock the door.
Then in September 29, 2004, 2 men entered the home and tied up the younger son, Ryan, so that he was out of the way.
With Ryan tied up in the closet, the assailants carried out their deadly mission.
They turned their attention to Harriet.
They believe the other suspect was the one who actually killed Harriet.
He stabbed her over and over again. This is the most horrific violence.
Harriet's life was stolen at the very moment she tried to reclaim it. And that is the real tragedy.
Yo, let's go, come on.
After that, the killers fled and remained anonymous for years. It almost looked like Magdi would get away with it. But thanks to breakthroughs in DNA science, police were able to hone in on Anthony Bridget and, by extension, Magdi.
Then prosecutors revealed their most damning evidence: the footage of Magdi paying hush money to the undercover officers.
His evidence of guilt is all in his state of mind and that intent to kill and the actions he did to make sure that happened and to make sure that stayed quiet. But it's not as if you have someone with a smoking gun for the jury to say, well, this is the person who did it.
And on April 17, 2013, the decision is left for the jury to decide.
Ultimately, they found Magdi Gurgis guilty of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder.
Magdi was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
When it's Anthony's turn in court, he's found guilty of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and is sentenced to life without parole.
For Richard and Ryan Gurgis, finally seeing their father behind bars is a relief after 10 long years of seeking justice. But unfortunately, it's not the end.
The person who actually slayed Harriet Gurgis is still out there, and so is the so-called middleman.
It was a little sad when it wasn't everybody, but at the same time, I thank God that we ended up getting the justice that we got.
As long as they're still free, me and Richard are still working hard to get the story out to everyone that could definitely help with the capture. If you have any information, please come forward to the Westminster Police Department.
While Harriet's absence has been a painful burden for her sons to bear, her memory reminds them of how to move forward.
She helped really teach me how to love and be affectionate towards others and be compassionate towards others.
Me and Richard have never, ever, ever went a day without remembering everything that she's done for us. She always thought about her kids and her family number one.
When a Florida apartment catches fire, first responders make a tragic discovery inside.
She has significant burn marks over her torso.
I mean, it was heartbreaking.
But it's soon clear this was no ordinary fire.
The face of the smoke detectors have been removed.
This was a cover-up for murder.
Someone intentionally did this.
The investigation reveals a tumultuous relationship ready to explode.
He had threatened kill in the past.
There's a love triangle going on here.
I said, man, we still can mess around. I don't care, no, I get me.
It's getting messier and messier.
She didn't think that it would get this far. She thought she had it under control.
However, just as the investigation closes in on a killer,
now you going down, baby. They got evidence on your behind.
one small mistake could cause their case to go up in smoke.
They have the whole story, and sometimes they just slip up.
He was out boasting and bragging. They let me go, I'm free, I'm free.
It's an unbelievable feeling. I mean, it was so bad.
November 15, 2013, Homestead, Florida. Despite being the middle of autumn, it's a warm Friday night on the outskirts of sparkling Miami.
Homestead is in Miami-Dade County. It's about 30 miles south of the city center of Miami.
Homestead is more suburban. It's more strip malls and other things like that instead of the big high-rises and condos and clubs and fancy hotels that you're gonna find on South Beach.
But at 9 p.m., Miami-Dade Fire and Rescue are in a race against time.
Miami-Dade Rescue 911 received a number of calls about a fire in an apartment complex in Homestead, Florida.
Miami-Dade County Police and Fire, what is your emergency?
We're on fire, please send us up right away.
What's on fire?
It's one of the apartments, it's the 3rd floor.
When the authorities arrive on scene, officers evacuate the remaining tenants, while firefighters prepare to extinguish the blaze.
Fortunately, a sprinkler system inside the unit has worked to put out most of the fire, and they're able to put out whatever remnants of the fire remain.
Amidst the chaos, they learn the apartment belongs to a 22-year-old woman named Kayla Gloucester.
I received a call from the apartment management that the apartment was on fire. Immediately, I hung up the phone and I called Kayla. I called and I called and I called and she didn't answer.
I was calling her phone trying to see where she at. I thought she had jumped in the car with somebody and went and left a pot on the stove.
However, when firefighters enter the apartment, they make a tragic discovery.
Kayla Gloucester is lying on the floor. Her body is burned.
She didn't even have a chance. Kayla is dead.
22-year-old Kayla Gloucester had a vibrant personality that set her apart from the crowd.
She was a firecracker. I mean, she was loving, but a little bit feisty.
Kayla did not hold back. She was very blunt. She always told the truth, whether you liked it or not.
But when you get to know her, she's very funny. She was fun to be around. She was a jokester.
Everyone just gravitated towards her. She was very outgoing, free-spirited.
We were those girls. We were popular, we were pretty. So yeah, we actually took full advantage of that.
As a true Miami-Dade native, Kayla also had a keen eye for fashion.
She was passionate about designer wear.
She was a fashionista. She would get her nails like Hello Kitty. And if her closet was open, I'm going shopping.
However, Kayla's favorite activity was spending time with her family.
She loves family gatherings. That was her passion. And we would always have outings. Every weekend, we were probably doing something as a family.
She was so soft-hearted. She was my protector. She was my first best friend.
But in one moment, Kayla's family changed forever.
On January 23rd, 2009, Kayla's older brother, Derek, was killed in a shooting.
He just was going to meet his buddy, and they was gonna go somewhere else. Then that's when all hell broke loose.
He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't think that was for him. That was not his time.
It was the first traumatic death in our family that we have ever experienced. So it did kind of knock us off our feet.
The guy that did it, Little Bill, he confessed to it. And they gave him a pass on it because he was cooperating on other murder cases. They only gave him 25 years. And that's all he got.
In the wake of her brother's murder, Kayla became even more driven.
She wanted to go on to be a correction officer, but after she finished school, she had to work at these jobs here and there.
Kayla worked at the car wash and like Pizza Hut.
Eventually, Kayla saved up enough funds to afford her first apartment.
But they had a gate, you had to go inside the gate and stuff. It was a nice, quiet area. It was really nice.
Kayla had also started dating someone new, 32-year-old Robert Holton.
Kayla was walking through the neighborhood one day and Robert like rode up on her and like, hey, how you doing?
Robert was, he's a bigger guy. He was a football coach. He worked construction and other jobs.
He was a single dad and he had full custody of his son.
Robert may have been 10 years older than Kayla, but they seemed like kindred spirits.
She liked the fact that he was older. She felt like he was someone who could protect her.
It was nice because he treated her very well, very gentle with her. He would give her whatever she wanted. And if she ever come to him with a request, he was able to provide it for her.
But now, Kayla Gloucester has been found dead in her South Miami apartment after it went up in flames. And a closer look of the scene reveals signs of foul play.
When looking at the smoke detectors, what they realize is that the face of the detectors have been removed.
Even more chilling, the burns aren't Kayla's only injuries.
Kayla has also been stabbed in the throat.
Maybe this wasn't an accidental fire. Maybe this was a cover-up for murder.
2013, Miami-Dade firefighters have just found 22-year-old Kayla Gloucester deceased inside her apartment.
She has significant burn marks over her torso.
And it's soon clear Kayla's tragic death was no accident.
The face of the smoke detectors have been removed.
Kayla has also been stabbed in the throat.
They now have homicide on their hands.
As Kayla's family members arrive on scene, they're hoping for good news.
We didn't know what had happened. We just knew the apartment was on fire and that was it.
But their hopes are soon crushed.
Next thing you know, I see 4 cars pull up. I see the badges and it got homicide. That's when he told me they found her dead.
I was broken. I was broken. To endure another loss of losing a child, that's a pain is unexplainable. Yet to lose one, then to lose another one.
I mean, we cried together. I mean, it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking.
I was miles away when my dad called me. That moment was very shattering, and it was the second tragic event that has occurred in my life.
Inside the apartment, homicide detectives get to work processing the crime scene.
What they discovered was blood in several locations. There was blood on the bedroom door frame and the closet.
There's blood in the bathroom. There's blood by the toilet. There's blood on the bathtub area.
Investigators surmise that whatever happened to Kayla, she put up a fight.
They noticed that she has deep cuts to her hands.
The girl was in there getting it down. She did not make it easy. Her wounds and her injuries, it conveyed that.
Following the trail of evidence, detectives uncover multiple signs of arson attempts.
The mattress looks like it was set on fire. There's a portion of the carpet that looks like it had been set on fire. They also noticed a bottle of motor oil in the kitchen area. And they believe that this is what the individual had used to set the fire.
Someone intentionally did this. It appears that the killer may have stabbed her first and then set her body on fire to try to destroy evidence.
The sprinkler, it heat up and it burst, and it still set off the fire alarm.
It did not appear that any of her property had been taken. So they ruled out the possibility of this was someone who came to steal and burglarize.
There does not seem to be any signs of forced entry.
This was someone that Kayla knew and felt safe enough with to let them into her space.
In their search for suspects, detectives turn to Kayla's devastated parents. Do they have any idea who could have done this to her?
She was not troublemaker in the sense where she would just attract that type of energy from anyone.
But Kayla's parents say there is one person who's been causing trouble in Kayla's life.
That person was Robert Holton.
Their relationship was tumultuous. They would be on again, they would be off again.
There was red flags. He did start being mean. He did start being nasty towards her.
They say he had threatened Kayla in the past.
In April of 2013, Kayla called me. She said, "Dad, Robert over here busting my windows out of my car, and he's beating at my door with a crowbar."
Kayla's dad immediately raced over there to intervene.
Where is he?
I don't know, he left.
When I got there, all her windows was busted out. Robert wasn't there. He wasn't on the premises. He was gone. So I gave her my phone. I said, "Call him." He answered my number. I asked him, "Hey, why you did what you did with Kayla Windows?" And he wouldn't say nothing.
Answer me.
Kayla's father says he wasn't letting Robert off easy.
I say, "Do not play with that." I said, "I don't take that lightly. You're gonna fix those windows on that car." And I told him where the car was gonna be at, what shop I was taking it to, and whatever he did, when I went to go pick the car up, it was paid for.
Kayla's father says she eventually decided to end things with Robert for good, and even started dating someone else.
She'd recently moved on with a young man named Cedric.
He was coming, visiting Kayla at least 2 to 3 nights out of the week. So he was getting ready to move in full time with Kayla.
He definitely promised me that, he'll take care of her.
Did that set Robert off?
Love makes some people go crazy.
The night when Kayla got killed, I stayed out there all that night with fire and rescue and homicide until they took her body out to the MEs. To lose a child, I mean, it cuts deep. It cuts deep. No one can tell you about that feeling there. It's an unbelievable feeling. It was so bad with Derek and Kayla. I wanted to be with them. That's how bad it was. Because I didn't care no more. I wanted to be with them.
Detectives investigating the murder of 22-year-old Kayla Gloucester have just learned that she'd recently ended things with her on and off boyfriend, Robert Holton, and moved on with a young man named Cedric.
He was just a little bit older than us, took care of his family, took care of everyone around him.
Just then, Cedric arrives at the crime scene, shocked by the tragic news.
I actually liked him for Kayla. I mean, it was nothing but respect and love. I mean, he got my number, I got his number.
He was actually, I feel like, the love of her life, almost.
Now, detectives wonder if Robert was so jealous of Kayla's new relationship with Cedric that it motivated him to kill her.
They want to speak to Robert Holton ASAP.
He agreed to speak with them.
After the sun comes up over Miami-Dade County, detectives sit down with Robert inside an interrogation room. Robert wastes no time claiming his innocence.
Kayla, my son, they was like close and hurt me right now. And I'm in question for something I didn't do.
He says that she's someone that he loves and cares about, and that he wouldn't want to see anything bad happen to her.
His story isn't really matching up with what they've learned from Kayla's family. According to Robert, he and Kayla were still very much together.
How long had you been going out with Kayla at this time?
But now, man, like off and on, like 4.5 years.
He admits that there's some problems in the relationship, but says he would never hurt her.
Like, we used to get into little fights and stuff like that, but it wasn't really not serious.
Were you in love with Kayla?
Yeah, that was my ace.
Robert says he'd even spent time with Kayla at her apartment earlier that day.
So she asked me what I'm gonna come through. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna come through when I get off.
Robert indicated that he stopped by his employer to get paid, and from there, he went to Kayla's apartment.
So what time do you think you got to Kayla?
By like 3:30.
And what happened when you got there?
Man, I was talking, you know what I'm saying? And then she told me that she had one son. So, man,
He said they hung out for a while, they had sex, then he had to leave to go and walk his dog.
So you think you left there at what time?
I left there by around 6:30.
If Robert is telling the truth, that means he left about 2 hours before Kayla's apartment caught fire.
He said he spent the rest of the evening with his 9-year-old son.
Robert says he only learned of Kayla's murder after getting a call from his friend, Noelle.
Noelle told him that she had seen on Facebook that Kayla was dead, that in fact people were writing, "Rest in peace, Kayla." He said he couldn't believe it.
I'm like, man, stop playing with me. She ain't dead. She can't be. She like, yeah. So then I hung up the phone with her. I called her sister, Shayon.
He called me and asked me if Kayla was all right. And I'm like, what do you mean if she's all right?
She was like, oh, basically, they blaming you. I said, blaming me? I said, man, it's crazy because I ain't do nothing.
So Robert says when he got the call from detectives, he was eager to clear his name.
Robert says he had nothing to do with it. He wasn't there.
But is he telling the truth? Before concluding their interview, detectives want to ask Robert about Kayla's new boyfriend, Cedric.
He admits he knows Kayla had been dating Cedric.
When the other boyfriend comes over around a certain time, she was back messing with him, this and that.
Surprisingly, Robert says he had actually agreed to the arrangement.
I said, man, we still mess around. I don't care, no, I get me. You know what I'm saying? And we just had a mutual understanding.
Robert admits he had been messing around with other women too, including his friend Noelle.
So was it like a girlfriend, or just someone you were seeing?
It was like, man, I was having sex, but she knew about Kayla. She knew I had other girls, so.
Did Kayla know about her?
Nah, she didn't know about her.
Robert claims Cedric was also in the dark about what was going on behind closed doors.
According to Robert, he and Kayla had started seeing each other again, but Cedric did not know.
He knew that Robert was like some guy she used to just talk to, you know, just like an ex.
And he was still trying to figure out about me. He asked me in my inbox, oh, you bad messing with her? I'm like, no, I wasn't finna snitch on her, you know what I'm saying?
This love triangle is becoming more of a love square, and it's getting messier and messier.
In speaking with the on and off boyfriend of murder victim Kayla Gloucester, Miami-Dade detectives have learned she was embroiled in a complicated love triangle.
According to her family, Kayla broke up with Robert and started dating Cedric, but Robert says he and Kayla were still very much together.
Robert just admitted that him and Kayla had just had sex in her apartment just a few hours before she was killed.
But Robert claims he and Kayla had a special arrangement.
I said, man, you still can mess around.
They were both seeing other people on the side. While Kayla was dating Cedric, Robert was hooking up with his friend Noel.
Just then, investigators make a telling observation about Robert's hands.
He had some injuries on his hand that would be consistent with someone who may have engaged in stabbing someone and cut themselves.
However, Robert quickly offers up a defense.
He said, oh, I do construction. That's how that happened.
Now, the investigators are even more suspicious of Robert, but they'll need additional evidence before they can make an arrest in this case.
Investigators asked him if he'd consent to giving a DNA sample, and Robert agreed to let them take the sample.
As detectives await the results of the DNA test, the report from Kayla's autopsy comes in. And what it says stuns everyone.
The autopsy results show Kayla wasn't just stabbed in the neck and set on fire. She was also choked and drowned.
She had been strangled to the point that a blood vessel in her eye had burst.
She had water in her lungs. Her lungs was twice the size of a person of her stature. It's a lot of water she swallowed.
Detectives already knew they were dealing with a brutal crime, but this takes it one step further.
This is overkill.
It was a multiple of things that killed her, meaning that she suffered. She was suffering.
And detectives soon get another surprise. A visit from Robert Holton's alleged friend and lover, Noel.
In the interview with Robert Holton, he had told the detectives Noel told him of the death of Kayla.
But according to Noel, there was much more to the story than that.
Robert said, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna come by your house.
Robert picked Noel up, and they continued their conversation on the road.
At some point, she joked with him that, oh, I know you did it. And he joked back with her, oh, how did you know?
Then the conversation took a dark turn.
Robert asked Noel to help him with his alibi, and she's like, oh my God, he really did it.
Robert confessed to her that he had killed Kayla.
He indicated that he just lost it. He lost control.
According to Noel, it all began when Robert and Kayla were getting intimate earlier that evening, but he could tell Kayla wasn't into it.
Therefore, he was having some difficulty performing. So he asked Kayla to give him oral sex. She declined.
He got offended and started calling her names, so she told him to get out.
Get out. Get out now.
Robert said that the fight ensued. He indicated that Kayla hit him.
Kayla mentioned that Cedric was better than him.
And that really set Robert off.
He just lost it. He lost control.
He clicked, and he picked Kayla up and slammed her. And like kind of dazed her.
Then he dragged her into the bathroom and attempted to drown her in the toilet and strangle her.
But the attack didn't end there.
He went to the kitchen, he grabbed a knife, he came back and stabbed Kayla.
It wasn't just like one hit and she was out. She gave him a run for his money. She was fighting for her life.
Once Kayla was dead, Robert knew he needed to cover his tracks.
When he first tried to set the mattress on fire, it wouldn't take.
So he went and he got some motor oil from his car and brought it back to set the place on fire.
After torching the mattress, he went back to try and burn Kayla's body as well, assuming the flames would destroy all the evidence.
Then Robert left Kayla in the bathroom, laying in her own blood, with the apartment on fire.
8.5 hours later, when Robert asked Noelle to help him with his alibi, she couldn't believe what she was hearing.
He asked her if the police asked her any questions, if she would tell them that he was there at her apartment until 10 o'clock that night.
Noelle was understandably resistant to get involved in this, and that made Robert angry.
As they were talking, he became more aggressive and angry. So aggressive and angry that she wanted to get out of the car.
But Robert wasn't having it.
She said, I am so scared.
She was trapped inside a moving car with this maniac.
In November of 2013, a young woman named Noelle is telling Miami-Dade detectives a harrowing tale about her alleged friend-turned-lover, Robert Holton.
Robert admitted to Noelle that he killed Kayla Gloucester and tried to force her into helping him out with his alibi.
But according to Noelle, when she resisted, Robert turned his anger onto her.
She said, I am so scared.
You can't say nothing.
She was trapped inside a moving car with this maniac.
At the next stop, Noelle took off running.
He tried to chase her in the car, but she was still able to escape from him.
Once Noelle fled from Robert, Robert called her multiple times. He threatened her, told her she should not talk to the police.
Noelle's statement is a vital piece of evidence for the investigators.
Detectives get a warrant for Robert's phone records.
And when those cell phone records are received, they tell a different story than the one Robert has told the police.
Originally, Robert told police he was several miles away near his home when the fire in Kayla's apartment began.
Despite his testimony, his phone was pinging on cell towers near Kayla's apartment as late as 8:57 that evening.
That's just minutes before rescuers arrived on the scene. For investigators, this is huge.
The dots are connected. He had lied about where he was, and his phone records prove that.
Furthermore, a search of Robert's criminal history reveals he has a lengthy rap sheet.
He had assault charges for an unrelated incident.
There had been instances of domestic violence.
Unfortunately, though, investigators will need more evidence to officially charge Robert with Kayla's murder.
Even with the phone logs and Noelle's testimony, they wanted physical evidence to connect Robert to the crime.
They did not want him to get away with it, and they were very meticulous, and they took their time.
Detectives' last hope rests on the results of the forensic testing.
The labs sometimes take months, if not years, to return the results of DNA samples.
During the time of the police investigation, Robert was not in custody.
I just knew that he was out. My best friend is gone. We knew he did it, and we just felt like he was just out, just roaming.
He was like making Facebook posts like, oh yeah, y'all thought I killed Kayla. Why would I do that to my ex?
He was out boasting and bragging. Oh, I ain't did nothing. Man, I'm free. They let me go. I'm free.
As the weeks and months drag on, Kayla's family begins to wonder if they'll ever see justice.
I didn't have any words. I just wanted him to serve the consequences of the wrong that he did to her.
According to Kayla's father, he eventually tried to take matters into his own hands.
I went to his mama's house, I knocked on the door. He put the police on me. He told the police her dad is a problem, he pushing the issue. And I was like, you damn right I'm gonna push the issue. You damn right, that's my child.
In fall of 2014, detectives finally received the call they've been waiting for from the forensics lab.
It took almost a year before detectives were able to get the results of those DNA samples, but it was a match.
Robert Holton's DNA was a match for blood found at the crime scene.
That would be very hard to explain unless he was involved in the attack on Kayla.
This indicates that while Robert was stabbing Kayla, he cut himself. And this blood was proof of that fact.
Now you going down, baby. They got evidence on your behind.
On October 15th, 2014, Miami police arrest Robert at home.
Thank you, Jesus, honey, because it was already done and said.
Just receiving that call, it was a big relief because I was like, I knew it.
It's a small victory, but detectives know they still have work to do. They continue to press Robert for answers.
He's trying to say, oh, when he left her, she was still alive. That was his argument, that yeah, I was there, but I had left.
At this point, detectives know Robert is lying.
It bothered you that she was seeing somebody else. You can't be in love with her like that and not be bothered at knowing that some other guy's in her.
Nah, not really, because if that's the case, I wouldn't have went back with her. To be honest with you, you're full of Robert.
I want to be the second boyfriend. That's what he told me over the phone. But men don't do stuff like that. We want to be number one.
Robert constantly denies that he was in fact involved in Kayla's murder. Over and over again, he says, I didn't kill that girl.
I didn't kill this
Robert.
Man. I did not kill this girl, man.
Robert.
Detectives tell Robert they have everything they need to prove him guilty, with or without a confession.
The evidence is there. Everything is laid out.
Eventually, Robert says that he wants an attorney.
That's all you need to say, Robert. That's all you need to say. It's over from this point.
Once police leave, Robert finally appears to feel the full weight of the charges against him.
Yeah, this bull crap. My blood mixed with her blood. Ain't no way in the world I was not mixed with her blood, man. They tripping.
He now realizes he's caught. So yeah, he was scared. He was definitely scared.
Investigators charge Robert with second-degree murder as well as arson. And 1 year later, in 2015, Robert finally goes on trial. According to Kayla's loved ones, Robert's demeanor in court adds to their pain.
Robert couldn't even look her mom in her eyes. He couldn't even face her.
I felt we was doing an exorcism in court. That's what I felt.
But just as Kayla's family is preparing to receive justice for their loved one, the court proceedings come to a grinding halt.
The judge is forced to declare a mistrial.
15, nearly 2 years after the brutal death of 22-year-old Kayla Gloucester. Her former boyfriend, Robert Holton, finally stands trial for murder. But getting justice for Kayla will be easier said than done.
A detective had stated during his testimony that Robert Holton was involved in another crime.
They couldn't mention that.
There's certain evidence that has to be excluded because they believe it's too prejudicial.
So the judge decided that in the interest of justice, that case would end in a mistrial.
It's a tough blow, but there is one silver lining for Kayla's family.
When prosecutors initially indicted Robert, they went with second-degree murder to be safe because they weren't sure if they'd be able to prove premeditation. But after the first trial, they felt more confident.
It was beneficial for us because then the charges changed. When it was second degree, it went to first.
And now, with the first-degree murder charges, Robert is eligible for the death penalty.
However, Kayla's loved ones must wait 8 grueling years for another trial.
I was very impatient. Right, like I wanted him to pay for what he had done.
Finally, in August 2023, with a brand new jury, Robert once again faces the court. But this time, a new problem arises.
The jury decided that they could not reach a unanimous verdict.
You had one person that didn't want blood on their hands because it was a death penalty case.
One mistrial may happen. 2 mistrials is a lot less common.
For Kayla's family, the announcement of a second mistrial is a crushing blow. But in April 2024, the stage is set once again.
Everyone is hoping third time's a charm.
In their 3rd time presenting the case, prosecutors argue Kayla's murder was an act of jealousy and control.
His methods was very calculated, and he used that to his advantage to keep being in her life.
But when Kayla flipped the script on Robert, he couldn't handle it.
She started flourishing in another relationship with someone else, and that someone was Cedric.
When Kayla threw Cedric in Robert's face, something in him snapped and he unleashed all the rage that was building inside him.
I don't think she was afraid of him, honestly. But she didn't think that it would get this far, to be honest. She thought she had it under control.
When the jury retires to deliberate, Kayla's loved ones are anxious for the results.
I was on pins and needles. Didn't know what was going to happen again.
But this time, the jury is able to reach a unanimous decision.
Robert Holton was declared guilty of first-degree murder and guilty of arson.
It was just so like, full of emotion. Like, you could hear the relief in the courtroom.
I could breathe now, just thinking, God, thank you. Justice has prevailed.
However, the jury decides against the death penalty.
The jurors decided to spare Robert's life and recommended to the judge a sentence of life without parole.
I feel like life is better anyways. So you can sit and dwell on what you did.
He got to suffer like he made her suffer. That's what he got to do.
This was a case that shows that with patience and determination, a person doesn't have to get away with murder.
Although Kayla's family is relieved to see justice served, they still live with the hurt of losing their loved one in such a devastating way.
As a father, I'd be lying if I said I didn't want no revenge or some get back. Of course I want Robert dead, but with my belief, I know I have to find some type of way to forgive because God is the ultimate authority.
I can't say that we have closure because there's never any closure, but we're learning to live with what we have endured.
I hope when you see this story, open up your eyes, be wise, don't take nothing for granted. I mean, you might be in love with this guy, but if they love you, they won't harm you. Somebody mistreating, say something. You could get out before it's too late.